Hello everyone, William here. I'm on my way to the Reading Card Show. Now I wasn't planning to go to this other show. This is the second show they've had this year. But I saw a vendor at the last show that had a card. He had sent it off for grading, and he said if he still has it by this show I could buy it. So I figured I'd try and buy it if he still has it. So I'm on the show floor, and so far the show's been pretty good. I picked up the card I wanted, and I'll show it at the end once I'm back home. The venue, if you could tell, it's actually larger than the one we Reading Card Show was at last year. So it means there's more space, thankfully. Although I came in at 1 p.m., so that also means there's probably less crowds than were here earlier this morning. But right now, it's about close to 3, and there is a lot of space to actually get to the vendors and actually go through the binders. Although so far I've spent most of my budget, so I'm not really going to have any much more to spend on cars, but I'll show that right at the end. Alright, I'm back home now. Overall, I say the event was better than the last Reading Card Show because the event location was bigger than the last one. Even though the first one had a cozy vibe with the multiple rooms, it was a bit congested in some of the rooms at certain times, but having one large venue was better this time around. But on to the cards I bought. The first one, and which took out most of my budget, was this. As I said, it was a card. I got this from the Lytton Card Shop. It's, you can see the price there. So these are pretty hard to come by in good condition, and buying them from Japan, I find any of the black and white trainers are usually more expensive just because it's more popular. Train supporters are more popular in Japan, and sometimes getting them from America is a bit pricey too with the customs. So I was glad I was able to pick this up. It's a PSA 9, which is, I usually don't get the 9s for Iris, but I'm probably making a video regarding like the prices of 9s and 10s, and why I say 9s going forward might be a bit more logical. Let's see, some other cards I got these from, I'm trying to, oops, not this one. The vendor was TikTok Collectibles. I got some Diamond and Pearl trainers. I've seen these ones on eBay and other places, but I've never bought them because of the damage. But these ones are pretty near mint. You can see here some of the price tags. I put the price tags on the back just to focus more on the cards. This is probably my favorite Professor Oak card because you could see he's traveling. You see, in some of the games you would see him in other locations, but it's good to have a visualization of how he's actually going about his various destinations. Marley's, I think this is the only Marley card. Lucian had a full art recently. Aaron, I don't think he has one. Aaron is one of those characters I always forget. He's not a really popular Elite Four trainer, but still decided to pick up his card. And Professor Royan. At the booth of TikTok Collectibles, I met Jack. I forget his actual YouTube name, but he gave me this Korean Glory of Team Rocket booster pack, and I managed to pull the Wobbuffet art rare, which is pretty cool. Two more things. Here's a Bill's Maintenance supporter card. I got this from, I think, the vendor's HR Trading. I met him at the last, well, it's a family, but I met them at the last Reading Card Show. I can't remember what I got from them last time. I think it's just a few cards for my artist sets. And finally, I forget the vendor who I got this pack from, but this is for my God of War pack art set. This is the Primal Clash booster pack. I'm not too concerned with how well the condition of these are, since they're really just for the pack art. And the price on this is pretty reasonable. I don't really check the prices of these, but I think the Groudon, and there's probably another Pokemon where those ones are a bit more expensive than the Gardevoirs, which is helpful for my collection. So yeah, I'm glad I went. I said I possibly wouldn't go because I'm not the biggest card show fan. But overall, I'll go again next year to the next Reading card show whenever there's one. If wherever I go to next, I probably won't be buying a card like this because this is pretty pricey. But I knew in advance, like I checked the comps on how much these go for and so forth. That's really the only reason why I would spend so much on a card like this. But otherwise, I'm generally for a card show. I'd rather try and pick up some of the cheaper trainer cards that I'm looking for. I wouldn't buy these ones on. I wouldn't go out to my way to buy them off eBay, but picking them up at a show is nice. So I'm just rambling on at this point, and I'm going to cut it here. So that's all for this video, and thanks for watching.